Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, chefs from around the world. Welcome to another webinars of War Chefs. And for this first webinar in the year 2022, we have the pleasure of once again collaborate with at Sunrise Global Chef Academy to introduce to you two new recipes with beef, one from the East and one from the West. If you remember from last year, we already had a very informative webinars with at Sunrise team on chili crab. So I'm very much hoping that you would enjoy today's sessions too. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Chef John, Chef Sam, and Chef Satish, who will walk us through today's event. Thank you so much, chefs, for spending time with us and sharing your knowledge.
Thank you, Lynn, for the wonderful introduction. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever in the world you might be tuning in from. Let me just very quickly share my screen with you. There we go. Okay, a little bit of introduction for myself. My name is Chef John. I am one of the culinary instructors here at Sunrise. I'm also the LMS lead here at Sunrise for the online diploma program. And it's very wonderful for all of you to come and share your time with us tonight. So let me share with you the agenda for today. So for today, we will have an introduction to Singapore as a diversity of culture. We'll be talking about beef Bourguignon versus beef Rendang, East meets West. With me in that segment, we will have Chef Sam, our resident French expert here at Sunrise, who will be joining me, and we'll be talking a little bit more about the dishes. Of course, there will also be recipe videos for you to see, for you to watch, where we will actually show you the preparation of beef rendang and beef bourguignon. After which there will be a discussion on the two recipes, the similarities, the differences, and basically the key points to the two recipes. After that, we'll be sharing topics for the upcoming Skills of the Month video. All right, that's quite interesting. Stay tuned for that. And then after that, I will be introducing to you Chef Satish, who will be taking you through the DigiChef platform as well as TL123, as well as some demo videos on DigiChef Learning Systems TL123. For those of you who have questions along the way, don't worry, we will have a Q&A session at the end of it, very similar to last time. And of course, stay tuned. We will take up we will try to answer as many questions as we can at the end of it, time pertaining. Okay. All right, so let's talk about DigiChef by Sunrise. Sunrise is Singapore's premier culinary school for culinary and pastry. We have, for the past 20 years, we've been cultivating global chefs in the F&B profession, in the culinary and pastry. All right, we are internationally diverse. We have state-of-the-art facilities with strong industry partnerships. Of course, we deliver knowledge in East and West cuisine, old world versus new world, herbs and spices, and of course, a strong focus on innovation and technology. Okay, now to the meat of it. We're going to talk about beef rendang. So let's talk about beef rendang. All right, so the dish actually originates from West Sumatra in Indonesia. And then as the immigrants came and went, basically, it brought the recipe across the seas to Malaysia and Singapore and actually Southeast Asia. You can find versions of this dish actually all around Southeast Asia, all the way up to Thailand as well. But most of the time in Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia, we have a beef rendang that is, how would I say, the most similar in terms of look and taste, but yet each country retaining its own version of it. So today we're going to be talking about the Singapore version of beef rendang. All right, traditionally it's accompanied with steamed rice. Sometimes it's eaten with flatbread as well. Beef rendang, as the name says, the main star of the show is actually the beef. But apart from the beef, is actually basically a rich coconut stew. It's actually stewed in coconut cream. And of course, a lot of coconut is actually put into it. Not only the cream, but we also toast the coconut, the grated coconut, and we add it in as well. And then the dish is slowly cooked over a long period of time, slowly caramelizing the sauce and reducing and cooking down the beef until basically the sauce caramelizes and coats and infuses everything with flavor. All right, as you can see in the picture, there's lemongrass, and of course there's a kaffir lime, and of course one of the main key ingredients is actually the turmeric leaves, which gives rendang one of this distinct flavor. All right, so before I bore you too much about it, let's watch a quick video on how to prepare beef rendang. Sorry, I'm just going to interrupt the video right here. I realized that I think the first half of the video was cut off due to some technical issues. So I'm just going to very quickly start it from the beginning again. All right. So hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you enjoyed the video for beef rendang. So we have with us right now Chef Sam Chunman, our resident French chef here at Sunrise. Welcome, Chef Sam. Chef Sam, sorry.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Sam Chunman, and I'm from Singapore. We are in Singapore, and we are at Tai Seng. Bonsoir tout le monde.
Yeah, so Chef Sam is here with us today to actually discuss beef bourguignon. Would you mind taking us through the dish, Chef?
Yes, this dish is originated in France, south of Paris, in Burgundy, Bourgogne. So this is the area where you can find a lot of livestock at the same time, good wine, etc., etc. Therefore, they make use of two combinations to do this dish, making use of the beef cuts from the neck. You know that the third category of beef, the tough category of beef. So they used to have the neck, shoulder, top side, and chunk of the beef. So from there, they marinate with red wine, and then they start to cook. It will take about 2.5 hours, 3 hours in order to render it tender. And this is a dish that is suitable for the winter seasons. Like now, it's very cold in Europe. So this is a dish that is best for the season. There's a lot of stew, there's a lot of braising. So this is where it comes in. So besides that, there's always some garnish that goes with the traditional garnish. As you can see over there, there's going to be pearl onions, mushrooms, bacon, and couton as well. Couton. Sometimes they serve you noodles as well. They nouilles noodles on the side. So it's very, very food at the end if you consume this dish.
Okay, thank you, Chef Sam. Now let's watch our video recipe on beef bourguignon. Okay, so there you have it. That was our video recipe on how to cook beef bourguignon. Okay, so I have a little request here, and I would like to actually bring this up. Some of you might be wondering why we have Chef Sam, who is actually a very Chinese-looking man. How is he our French, a resident French specialist here at Sunrise? Chef Sam, would you like to elaborate a little bit on your past and maybe speak a little French as well?
Bien sûr, bien sûr. Ça fait longtemps que je n'ai pas parlé en français. Hein. Là, on est en Bourgogne, hein. Donc on mange bien et puis on boit bien aussi, avec du vin rouge et puis du bœuf. Mais aussi du fromage aussi, du fromage avec du vin rouge, c'est super. Voilà, un petit peu.
And now in English, Chef, for those of us who did not understand a word of that.
Now this is a very heavy dish, but it's very simple compared to your rendang, because with herbs and spices in the rendang, it's not easy to get a taste. So the base in Bourguignon is red wine with herbs and spices, very simple one, thyme, bay leaf, etc. And yeah, with the garnish, pearl onions.
Yeah, so I guess for beef bourguignon, the wine, acidity of the wine is actually what helps break down the beef and all that. I guess for beef rendang, it's actually more of the spices that we use, the ginger and the galangal, and actually the coconut milk, and that's actually what helps to break down and tenderize the meat in beef rendang in general. What cuts of beef would you actually recommend for using beef for cooking beef bourguignon? Because for beef rendang, we actually use the cheaper cuts of beef. We use the tougher, cheaper cuts such as the chuck or the rump, and then we slowly braise it down and until basically everything is tender and fork tender. What about for beef bourguignon?
Bourguignon is the third category. In France, we used to tell them that it's a third category of beef. So it consists of maybe the neck, shoulder, top side, the chunk. Like what I told you, the cheek as well, cheek of beef. It's very nice. So with this small cuts, we do stewing. But when you get the bigger cuts, we do braising. So at the end, is more or less the same thing. I prefer to have the bigger cuts.
Okay, so another question that always comes up is beef bourguignon. You know, it's basically called beef bourguignon because it's from the region of Burgundy, and it uses the wine from the region of Burgundy as well. Let's say we're in Singapore or we're in Australia, and we can't afford, especially in Singapore, you know, wine's so expensive here. If we can't afford Burgundy wine, can I replace it with an Australian wine or with a Spanish wine? Is that still viable?
Yes, of course. It depends where you're from, because the French wine is not cheap, especially from Burgundy. You're using the Premier Cru, the best of the wine to cook, because there's immense in there. Because we used to go now to cooperative, in the wine cooperative, we get the wines with cheaper prices. So where you are in the world, you get the red wine, and then do the marination. That's one tip I used to do. Marinate the beef with red wine, tenderize it with herbs and spices. Only then I cook. That is one tip.
Would you recommend a fuller bodied red or lighter red?
Full
bodied.
Because
like
some of the beef are very, very tough, and then it smells. Therefore, we need a full body one, strong ones.
Okay. What else can we ask? Also, you mentioned earlier that beef bourguignon is a winter dish. So actually, beef rendang as well is actually considered a winter dish in these parts of the world. I know Singapore is basically summer all year round, but actually in West Sumatra, where the dish originally hailed from, it actually started in the hills, and it does get quite cold in the hills there as well. So beef rendang is actually considered a winter dish as well, and it's one of those dishes where the longer you keep it, the better it tastes, because it actually gives you time for all the herbs and spices to actually infuse into the meat and actually breaks down the meat a little bit more, so it becomes more tender and more flavorful the longer you keep it. And it's one of those dishes that actually keeps really well as well, especially in winter.
Yes, it's the same for Bourguignon. We cook today, we do not serve today. We prefer to keep it up for the next day where there's more flavors, and then we just heat up the dish and then we serve. You can keep it for a couple of days. It's not an issue when it comes to beef bourguignon.
Oh, okay. So actually, we've got some questions coming in already about this. I can see. Okay, this one is in regards to beef bourguignon. Chef, if we this is, I think, for some of our guests who don't take alcohol. If we can't take alcohol, what can you replace the wine with in a beef bourguignon? What would you suggest?
There's some wine without alcohol as well, huh? Or grape juice. Grape juice.
Grape juice.
Yeah, grape juice without alcohol. Yeah.
There you have it. So you can use grape juice to cook your beef bourguignon as well. Another question from Dandy. I hope I'm saying that right. What's the difference between beef bourguignon and beef goulash from Hungary?
Goulash, they have it with paprika. They mix it with paprika.
So it's like a similar dish, just with their own twist to it. So they add paprika and they call it beef goulash.
Yes, it is. Once we mention it, goulash is the appellation is there. Straight away, it's going to be goulash. When you mention goulash, equals to paprika. That's the herbs they put. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all the questions we have coming in so far that I can see. Oh yes, I have Dandy again, who has confirmed with me. Yes, rump is best for beef rendang, and he is Indonesian. Thank you, Dandy. All right, so we're going to move on from here. But those of you who still have questions, feel free to ask us again at the end of this entire session, where we have our Q&A sessions. Okay, so I'm just going to take this one last question before we very quickly move on. Joanne, is it Joanne? Joanne is asking, is there any difference when using a mortar and pestle versus a blender? I'm guessing this is for the spice paste for beef rendang. Now, if you ask the very traditional and the very old school chefs or your grandmothers and your grandparents, they will tell you, hands down, the mortar and pestle will give you the best texture and the best flavor. But if you ask someone from the current age, or some of our new modern chefs, they will tell you it doesn't really make a difference. Now, for me personally, the mortar and pestle, what it does is actually it actually smashes and mashes and grinds down everything. So basically, what you have is you extract all the flavors from the spices and the spice paste, especially the galangal and the ginger and the onions. At the same time, it doesn't completely puree the spice paste. So you still get some texture in the spice paste. Whereas if you use a blender, what happens if you're not careful or you blend it for too long, your spice paste loses all texture. Yes, you still get you still get all the flavor and all the goodness out from your spices and your herbs. But what you lack after that is a very smooth paste or a very smooth curry. And I think that is the main difference between using a mortar and pestle versus a blender. In the past, maybe the blenders of maybe 10 years ago are not as powerful as they are now. So I would say technology has caught up. If you know what you're doing, you can pretty much get the same texture from a mortar and pestle from one of the modern blenders that you can find these days. Okay. All right. So I think I've taken up enough time. Don't worry if I missed out your question. We will come back to it at the end of the session. All right. Thank you, Chef Sam, for sharing your knowledge with us for today. And maybe you can help with some of the questions later on.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you. My pleasure.
All right. Next up, we have the upcoming skills of the month. Okay. How our skills of the month work is basically we have at Sunrise, we were very focused on East versus West, and New World and Old World cuisine. We try as much as possible to teach our students both sides of the world. So every recipe that or every technique that we teach, we always try to give an Eastern recipe and a Western recipe. So for the month of March, we have chili versus pepper. All right, and so what we have for the recipes for that month is a green curry paste, as well as a brand crusted salmon. April, we have noodles versus pasta. We've got beef hor fun, which is one of my favorite Chinese dishes, versus pesto Genovese. And then for May, we have the parts of a chicken, so chicken feet, chicken wings, versus chicken breast, which is a very Western staple. All right, so the recipes for that day will be Kung Pao chicken and coq au vin rouge. All right, so this is going to be a little bit different from the skills of the month that you normally see on the WorldShare website. What you will see is basically this. The first part of it is basically the same. You come in and you see the skill of the month on the WorldShare website. It will be a short 2 to 3 minute video recipe teaching you how to do the dishes and all that. What's different about it this time is at the end of the video, there's going to be a QR code or a link where you can click, which will take you to one of our websites where you can register for your chance to actually sit in and join one of our live TL2 demo sessions. And this TL2 demo session that you'll be joining will actually be an actual class from our online diploma, All right, so you'll be joining our students and actually taking part in one of the lessons. All right, so look out for it. It's limited to the first 50 registered participants because it's going to be an actual class. We don't want to flood the class with too many people. All right, so watch out for it. It's going to be limited seats only, limited to the first 50 registered participants. All right. Okay, so let's move on from here. Upcoming, we have the intro to DigiChef and TL123. So I'm going to introduce all of you to Chef Satish Madan. Some of you have met him already last year at our last webinar. Chef Satish is our Director of Operations, Director of Academy and Operations here at Sunrise. Chef Satish, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you, Chef John. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us at this session. It's my pleasure to interact with you on this platform and share with you about DigiChef platform, as well as our upcoming online diploma programs. So our online diploma programs are delivered in TL1, TL2, and TL3. This diploma program is very rich with the knowledge and skill base. In TL1, which is fully online, so all the participants, those who enroll for this program, they have access to all the videos, all the training material there. It's fully online and it gives an opportunity for all students to learn at their own pace. TL2, which is quite strict with the employment, with the supervisor at work. So TL2, they are the videos which are on this platform available. And these videos are very detailed, which allow students to learn and apply this knowledge at their workplace there. At the same time, if students, those are not working in the industry, they also have opportunity to learn online and also can practice at your home. TL3, which is a very interesting part during TL3, that platform allows participants from the different part of the world, those who have joined for this program, they share about their learnings, they share about their difficulties, challenges, and there's a very interesting sessions together with their peers as well as the chef instructor there. So we'd like to share with you one of the video which Chef John is going to play now. It's on about TL1 and 2 and 3.
TL1 is the very first stage where students get to access all their learning resources through the online learning management system, known as the LMS.
It's your one-stop portal for all your learning needs in at Sunrise. You can access the LMS platform using your email address and the default password which was sent to your email address. Once you've logged in, this is how it looks like. Here is the LMS feed which works similarly to Facebook's newsfeed, where you can find chefs posting learning materials or useful clips and articles. Important updates from the Student Services Departments can also be found here, and you and your peers can share relevant articles from cross-learning, create discussions for better learning on this portal. You can also respond to the post by leaving a comment or pressing the smile button to like it. Click on the Materials tab and select a lesson to access the learning material. Your chef instructor will upload the materials here for you to do self-learning before your lesson the next day. While doing your self-learning, you may post questions for the chef instructor. Remember, there is never a bad question. Do not be afraid to ask. The LMS is a crucial and engaging learning tool that you will use frequently during your time in at Sunrise. So do take the time to familiarize yourself with the interface and reach out to your chef instructor or the Student Services team if you ever need assistance. Happy learning!
TL1 makes learning simple. I'm able to understand the chef instructor's demo better because of the content covered on TL1.
I had some problems navigating at first, but I've grown to appreciate LMS. It helps me in being well prepared for the lessons.
TL2 is the second stage, which consists of at least 2 hours of demonstration by the chef instructor. The chef instructor will then run through the learning objectives and flow of the day to set your expectations and to guide you on your learning journey. The chef instructor will highlight the key learning points to remember, the skills and techniques to pay attention to for each specific recipe.
TL2 is exciting because I get to see the chef instructors in action. The chef instructors will demonstrate the entire cooking process for the recipe and teach us various techniques.
I like that TL2 lesson is also recorded and uploaded to LMS for me to easily refer back and also absorb all the information that I may have missed out during the lesson.
It's time to get busy in TL3. You will be putting what the chef instructor demonstrated in TL2 into practice. While completing your hands-on cooking, you are expected to record your cooking process to upload to the LMS for assessment. Upon uploading your video to the LMS, your chef instructor and classmates will provide you with feedback on your dish. You can also view videos from your peers to inspire new ideas and improvements.
This is where I can practice all of my skills that are taught by the chef instructors. It may be tough, but I believe with my confidence and my enough effort, I will be able to perfect it just like the instructors.
I've learned a new skill of video recording and editing while learning to cook, which is handy in this digital age. My peers are also very encouraging and willing to give me tips on how I can improve my dish after I watch my video on LMS.
We have come to the end of our onboarding videos. We hope that you make the most of your time using the resources that we put together for you. Remember, our chef instructors and student services team are always here to help. Continue to be inspired as you continue your journey with At Sunrise.
Thank you, Chef John. Thank you everyone for being with us and watching these videos. And I believe these videos you have seen, it's quite simple to learn. So give a chance to yourself and enroll for our upcoming diploma programs. We have 3 online diploma programs: a diploma in culinary arts, diploma in pastry and bakery, and diploma in F&B service management there. So it's a good opportunity for all of you. You can join online and you can learn at your own pace. Besides some recipes, there will be additional recipes which are value-added recipes for learners to try and delight your friends, your guests, and your family members here. So it's quite simple to operate. You all will be connected with us all the time. Yes, it's a self-learning, but we may have videos of all the detailed videos on our online platform where students will be able to learn, and after that can explore at their own pace there. And we also will be connected with the students. So we have a student services, we have a batch honors. So we'll be connected with all of you after enrollment there. Throughout the guidance will be provided. We also may have some guest lectures, guest demos, that videos will be uploaded on this platform. So that will be like additional knowledge to all of you. So as this is 100% online and at your own pace, so you may have an opportunity to learn Asian cuisines, Western cuisine, from basic to advanced level cuisine there. As you can see here, there's a different details on the learners. You can also track your own performance, means how many hours you have logged in, which topic you have read it, and you will also get a notification if you missed to read any of the topic there. So as I mentioned, we'll be connected with you, we'll guide you, we'll track your performance, and we'll keep updating you whenever we have an online session together with all of you. So this dashboard helps you to track and record, and also to keep you monitor how this batch is moving in other progress here. So TL2, which is a pure demonstration. So this demonstration is live. It could be online, which are the recorded videos are done by our master chefs from around the world. So as you can see in the picture, Chef Clement, who is a French chef, is giving a demo for bakery products here. The same, we have authentic chefs for French cuisine, Chef Sam and some other chefs, they'll be conducting this demo there. For Asian cuisine, we have Asian instructors, they'll be conducting this. And TL3 is a time for you to practice your craft. And after that, share this practice with your fellow members on this LMS platform. And once you record this, this is your legacy. You keep uploading on the levels and also get feedback from instructors, your fellow members, as well as you can review your all videos and can understand what you can done better, which can improve further, or what others have done that may be beneficial to you. So as you can see, the instructors, we always connected. These are the creations by the students. At the same time, instructors provide feedbacks on their performance here. So these all are the beautiful creations are done by our diploma program students here. So I believe the dishes are very tempted for you. So we also like to see the dishes created by you at this platform. So they also students upload their videos. So from videos are starting from first step till land when they present their final dish there. So this also promote further communication with the batch owners, instructors of the day, as well as your fellow members there. So I believe my session and the session shared by my colleagues help you a lot to understand this diploma program. And during the Q&A session, we'll be open to give answer to your queries. And you can also write to us. We'll reply to you as soon as possible there. So be ready for our upcoming diploma programs. Very soon, next week, we have a diploma opening, 28th of February, 28th of March, April, May, June. So this diploma program will be in the end of every month. So ready to connect with us. You're always on welcome there. Thank you, Chef John.
All right, thank you, Chef Satish.
Thank you everyone for listening to me and giving me opportunity to share this beautiful information about this program. And we also like to see you to be a chef, be on board and connect with us. Thank you, everyone.
All right, so there you have it. Chef Satish telling us about TL 123 and our online culinary diplomas. So our very first batch is actually starting next Monday on the 20th of February. Basically, a new batch will start on the last Monday of every month. So those of you who are interested, you can head on down to digichef.org and then you can get more information on that website. All right, so we have come to almost the end of our session for today. let me do a quick time check. All right, so we've still got some time. Let us answer some of those questions that I see is slowly filling up my chat. Let's see. Okay, so I've got a question. I believe this is again in regards to the 2 recipes we shared earlier. From Tap U Y Yen. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. Can I replace Chinese onions with onions? I think, okay, so Chinese onions. Okay, I need to understand your definition of Chinese onions. I think what you're referring to is the beef rendang recipe, or even for the beef bourguignon. In both our recipes, we use the white onions. If you don't have access to the white onions, you can replace with the red Spanish onions as well, and you might get a slightly different flavor. The red onions are a little bit on the sweeter side. The white onions are a little bit more pungent. But if you really can't find white onions, replace with the red Spanish onions, and it will give you a very similar product. Not completely different, but very similar as well. All right. Let's see, what else do we have? Are they okay? I think we've.
Yes. Excuse me.
Well, we are getting a massive echo from you, Lib.
Yes, excuse me for the echoes. I just wanted to notify you that there's some questions in the chat. Maybe I can read it out loud for you.
Yep, sure.
So there's first of all, there's a question from Chef Lisita. Hi, Chef, can we use pomegranate mousselas as grape juice? Does it strong flavor for it?
Oh, okay. I think I saw that question much earlier. Yeah, okay. So can we use pomegranate molasses to replace grape juice, or actually to replace I'm assuming this is going to be for beef bourguignon, and can we use pomegranate molasses in place of grape juice or in place of red wine? Chef Sam, any thoughts on this?
To be honest, you can replace all kinds of juices, fruit juices, but with alcohol in there. You can always try, but the flavor will be different.
Yeah, and I think also for pomegranate molasses, it's good. It's very thick. You might have to dilute it a little bit, dilute it down to actually get it to a juice consistency. But I think it'll give you pretty similar results. Basically, you'll still get the sweetness, and the acidity from it will actually help with the breaking down the meat as well.
Yeah, the grape is different. Yeah, it's slightly different. I haven't tried with this proposition yet. Pomegranate, I haven't tried that.
Maybe we can try for next staff lunch, Chef.
Oh yeah, yes, sure, certainly, yeah, certainly.
Thank you,
I hope that answered your question. Yep.
I think there's no follow-up on that yet. I also spotted another one that wasn't addressed, which is from Chef Nihat. He asked about the white paper in onions as was used in one of the recipe video.
Maybe you could clarify what you meant by the white paper, or was it a typo for white pepper, or?
I think it's he spotted that in the Boeuf Bourguignon recipe video. At some point, a white piece of paper was used when you were stir frying the onion.
Really? Okay. I don't remember seeing any white paper in there. Chef Sam, was there any?
Well, maybe they was typing around white pepper.
Maybe.
There's a comment that maybe it's filter paper.
Oh, did you use a bouquet garni? Was it a
spice pouch? Maybe spice pouch.
Yeah, it could be the spice pouch.
Cloth. It's a cloth, so that it
I
holds
think
all
in
the
the
spices in there.
correct. There was a okay. If it's the white paper looking thing that we used to bundle up the herbs and the beef bourguignon, there was actually a piece of leek that they have sliced open and unraveled, so that it actually formed like a little piece of basically a leek is round, right? So what they did was they sliced open one part and then they opened it up, and then they stuffed all the spices and herbs inside there, and then they tied it up again, so that it looked like a piece of paper, but actually it's the body of a piece of leek. I hope that was what you were trying to ask, and I hope I answered your question.
John, you covered that in the video. It was covered onions, when they saute onions. It was covered with the paper. So I think they mentioned to that.
Oh, the cartouche, the white paper. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, thanks, Chef. Yes. I think that's what they were asking. All right. So, okay. So basically, the white piece of paper is actually
the reason and the technique of using this here.
Correct. Understood. So basically, that piece of paper that you saw where they put over the onions when they were glazing the pearl onions, it's actually a piece of baking paper or parchment paper. It's used very commonly in French cuisine, especially when you don't have a lid for your pot. So what it does, it basically covers your food and prevents loss of moisture through the cooking process. At the same time, helps to retain the heat in the dish. So basically, if your pot or your vessel doesn't have a lid, you can quickly cut up a piece of parchment paper or silicone paper, baking paper, and create a cartouche, which is that piece of paper that you saw. Now, if you don't have the piece of paper, I guess you can also make do with aluminum foil. But if you're using aluminum foil, don't push it all the way down into the dish. You can just use it to cover the pot, and poke a hole in the middle, and you will achieve very similar results as well. Yeah, of course, if you have a lid for your pot, that works fine as well. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Chef Satish, for clarifying that. I was trying to figure out what the paper was.
Thank you, Chef, for the answer. I just spotted the questions in the chat. So this is a question from Chef Noel. Hi, Chef. What kind of leaves you put in beef rendang?
Okay, so just now when you're watching the recipe, you saw two different types of leaves that were put in. So like I mentioned earlier, the main flavorings or the main leaf that is used in beef rendang is actually the leaf of the turmeric plant. Okay, so the turmeric ginger, the yellow ginger, we actually use the leaves from that plant in there. So that is the main leaf in there. The second leaf you saw them using in there is actually the kaffir lime leaf. So both these leaves are really aromatic and inject a lot of flavor into the dish. Yeah, that's right. So it's a kaffir lime and a turmeric leaf. Okay, so we have a question in from Aishak Soli. I hope I'm pronouncing your names right. What is the best cut for goulash? So actually, talking about stews in general. So whether it's beef rendang or braised beef or goulash or beef bourguignon, you can get away with using the cheaper cuts of beef because you're cooking it on low heat for a long period of time. Basically, you're going to break down all the connective tissue that's in the beef. So whatever tough cut of beef that you had in the first place would, by the end of the cooking process, be like so tender it will melt in your mouth. Also, by using the tough cuts of beef with the all this connective tissue, as it's cooking, all that collagen, all that fat is going to come out and it's going to make your dish even richer. Yeah, so stews in general, you want to go for these kind of cuts like the chut or the rump or even brisket will work really well for it. Nice fatty, chewy cuts of beef that traditionally is used for stewing. Okay.
I also see questions in the Q&A box. Is there a possibility that both dishes that you introduced today can be mixed together to create a new fusion dish in which beef marinated with red wine and then get finished up with the rendang paste? What do you think about this fusion recipe? This is a question from Eric.
That's an interesting question. Help me out, Chef.
The thing is that it's very traditional dish, and they seldom mix it apart. Or maybe they can propose two in one so that they will be able to appreciate two at the same time.
Yeah, I think if you mix, the two, I think
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, one side is going to be very, very spicy and strong, and the other side is going to be strong, but the taste is not as spicy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Rendang is all about the spices and the flavor. So it's very strong flavors there. Whereas like a beef bourguignon is more about the flavor of the meat and the gravy produced by the meat itself. So it's two very different flavors. And I think if you combine the both, it's just going to be you're just going to have conflicting flavors. Yeah, I've never tried it. If you try it and you can find a way to make it work, I'm sure we'd love to hear about it, right? Maybe we can feature it as one of the skill of the month if it works out. Yeah. There's another question of what's the difference between beef stroganoff? Well, beef stroganoff is essentially another type of beef stew from another part of the world. So beef stroganoff, if I'm not wrong, is German descent, actually very close to the border of France as well. So it is possible that they had shared origins, much like how beef rendang was sort of like spread around Southeast Asia. The common beef stew in the region of France, I'm sure as the immigrants crossed over the borders between Germany and the surrounding regions, they would have brought their recipes up with them and then again adapted it for their local cuisine. And then it is possible that that's how beef stroganoff came about. Or it could be the other way around as well. Beef bourguignon came from stroganoff. But of course, that's just inviting more debate and all that. But that's basically, it's just basically another form of beef stew. So I've got another question here. Oops, just slipped up. So Dandy has brought some interesting point. He said that beef rendang has coconut milk in it, so it can't be mixed with wine. So yes, he does have a point there. The wine would probably curdle with the milk if we actually combine the two dishes. So I'm sure there are ways to make it work, but it would take a little bit of trial and error to try and create a recipe where the flavors will just work together. Thanks, Dandy. So I've just been corrected. Stroganoff is a Russian, not German. Okay, so I've just been told I've got 3 minutes left. I'm just going to quickly see if there's any more questions. If not, we will probably be wrapping up this session very soon. Let me look. Any interesting questions? No, I think we've pretty much covered all the questions. Okay, so once again, thank you, all of you, for taking the time to actually join us this past 1 hour. So it was a pleasure to host all of you. Thank you to Chef Sam and Chef Satish as well for joining us today. I hope all of you have a great time and stay safe in this period of COVID. All right. So once again, thank you, everyone. Good day, good evening, and good night to all of you. And I hope to see you soon at our next webinar and at our Skill of the Month. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, chefs. Look
Thank
forward to seeing you in the next webinars.
Yeah,
And
there
thank
was
you
a
all the participants for joining us today.
There was one participant, actually, he has an initiative to join for this program. So you can write to us, or you can connect us to our website also. The registrations are open, so you can register even on yourself also there.
Thank you, chefs. And for all the questions related to DigiChef and the program developed at Sunrise Global Chef Academy, we'll be sending a follow-up emails with all the information. So don't worry if you don't catch all the link in today's sessions, because everything will be shared with you within 24 hours. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Chef, for sharing your time with us.